Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here. And Skyrim Civil War is a brutal conflict, pitting brother against brother as the Empire fights to maintain their hold over Skyrim, promising peace and unity against the Dominion, while the Stormcloaks jockey to break it in the name of God and country. It's a complex affair, one that you, the Dragonborn, ultimately gets to determine. And though Skyrim and her many storylines may be nearly 7 years old, they're nothing if not full of hidden secrets. So sit back and relax as we take a look at 5 more Civil War facts you may have missed in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Part 3, I think. Starting off, Delamar is the head of all Thalmor Justiciars in Skyrim, and currently resides in Markarth, where he can be found working especially hard to root out all signs of Talos worship in the Old City. In the event that the Stormcloaks capture the Reach in their campaign, Delamar can strangely still be found roaming around Markarth's royal court, as if nothing's changed. What's more, he can still offer the player quests to persecute Talos worshippers in the town. For obvious reasons, this makes no type of sense. The Stormcloaks objectively hate the Thalmor even more than they do the Empire. Surely they wouldn't tolerate an Aldemary official roaming around one of their cities, especially if he's still going after Talos worshippers. Well, what you may not have known is that this wasn't what Bethesda originally had in store for our elven friend in the event of a Stormcloak victory. You see, as we've discussed before on this channel, when Skyrim was still in development, Bethesda had planned for the Civil War to be a much larger and even more complicated affair all around. There was supposed to be so much more to do. The Dragonborn was meant to be able to lose battles, and ultimately the war if they didn't perform up to snuff. You'd be able to recruit soldiers and giants in separate quests, and there was even supposed to be a major siege battle for every single hold capital, rather than the ones we got exclusively at Solitude, Whiterun, and/or Windhelm. Meaning, to capture a hold like the Rift, rather than just take a single fort, you would have to storm the gates of Riften yourself. Well, during the siege of Markarth, which again didn't make its way into the final version of the game, Bethesda had planned for Delamar to personally be executed by Galmar Stonefist, a Stormcloak general, in a rather spectacular fashion as the battle came to an end. And while the storming of Markarth was ultimately cut as with most other sieges in the game, Bethesda did leave behind more than enough resources in Skyrim's files to allow modders to reconstruct nearly the entire siege, as well as the final moments of our Altmer overlord. Here's a look at what was supposed to be Delamar's death.
The Empire will return. Count on it. I'm going to find
fast, Elves. I presume you're talking to me.
On your knees. I said, on your knees, Elf! What happened?
Enjoy this while you can. Soon you will all be slaves. That your best, huh?
Someone get that thing out of here and burn it. I'm going to find whoever did this.
Next on our list, we have a bit of a crossover fact that's just as much related to Fallout 4 as it is Skyrim, but I've been waiting for a good opportunity in a video to show this one off. The well-known Stormcloak bear sigil that can be seen plastered all over the faction's shields, banners, and flags can actually also be found being used in Fallout 4. Believe it or not, it can be found being used as the logo for the old DB Technical High School on a banner. According to Fallout 4's lore, DB Tech's mascot was the Bears, so it does make some sense. Now, whether this is just a subtle Easter egg, or perhaps the result of some Twilight Zone level parallel universe nonsense, well, that's for us in our tinfoil hats to decide. Coming in at number 3, Heimscar is the outspoken priest of Talos that can be found rain or shine preaching the word of his true god in front of his statue in Whiterun. Everyone's familiar with this proud Nord, but what you may not have noticed, unless you've been paying particular attention to him, is that the Civil War will have a radical effect on his life, depending on which side comes out on top. As you may know, prior to the Battle of Whiterun, Heimscar has his own, pretty nice home just a short walk away from the shrine, where he spends most of his day. However, during the Battle of Whiterun, it'll be destroyed by a catapult, no matter who you malign with. But here's where things get a bit interesting. In the event that the player sided with the Imperials and won the Siege of Whiterun, Heimscar will never be seen in public again. Instead, he will from then on out reside in the Dragon's Reach dungeon. The Imperials will have had him arrested for his worship and prayers. Though, rather admirably, he still won't stop his sermons. Even behind bars, he can still be found saying his daily prayer. But in the event of a Stormcloak victory, not only will he continue preaching in front of the Talos statue openly, but he will have even struck up a small tent and makeshift living space nearby, as his home, well, isn't in the best of conditions. Speaking to him after the Stormcloak victory, and he will reveal that he is ecstatic with the success, even if it means that he has to live in less than ideal circumstances. But that's still not all. If you talk to Vigna Greymane, the Stormcloak appointed Jarl of Whiterun after the battle, he'll even half-jokingly suggest building an entire temple to Talos, and making Heimscar the head priest of it. Unfortunately, no matter how many in-game days you wait, such a brilliant plan will never come to fruition. But it does look like your actions have quite a noticeable impact on this individual's status. So, act wisely. Or not, he admittedly can get a little bit annoying. For 4th spot, a man's armor says a lot about him. His fashion taste, fighting style, wealth, and even their political allegiance. As should the player approach a hold guard, wearing the armor of the opposite side in the Civil War which that guard is aligned to, they'll have some unique dialogue, scolding you for your choice of apparel.
You come talking to me wearing Imperial armor? You got stew for brains?
That's not all. Occasionally, certain characters will even confront the player with a dialogue tree, and if you respond in a disrespectful fashion, they may even turn hostile and attack. Fighting back will often even result in a bounty being placed against the player, making it a whole big snafu that's pretty difficult to sort out. So next time you're strutting down the streets of Windhelm or Solitude, make sure you're not wearing the wrong set of clothes. And finally, last on our list, during the main quest, Diplomatic Immunity, the Dragonborn is sent to infiltrate a party being hosted at the Thalmor Embassy by their emissary to Skyrim, Elowin, with the main objective being to secretly find out what the Dominion knows about the recent dragon attacks, as at the time, your contacts within the Blades suspect that the Thalmor might have a good idea of what's going on. Alas, it's ultimately revealed that the Aldemari Dominion is just as clueless as everyone else, and you pretty much completely wasted your time. Though you did find out who Esbern was, so that's something, I guess. But during the earlier stages of the quest, as you mingle with various guests in the party, you can overhear the following conversation.
Well, I did hear that Ulfric Stormcloak was slain while defending Windhelm against a dragon, but it sounds too good to be true.
I'll wager it was Ulfric himself that started the rumor. Maybe he thought it would bolster recruitment.
Now, at the time you hear this doesn't sound like anything of particular significance. Just some generic gossip that probably isn't even accurate anyway, right? Well, rather ironically, should you decide to align yourself with the Imperials, this foreshadows the ending of the Civil War quest line. As in the final moments of the Siege of Windhelm, as the city falls and Jarl Ulfric lay defeated in battle, General Tullius will confront him, saying he's finally gonna execute the traitor for his actions. However, Ulfric will make one final request, asking that the Dragonborn be the one to swing the sword, as it'll make for a better song. Take a listen.
Any last requests before I send you to wherever you people go when you die?
Sovngarde, sir.
Right. Well?
Let the Dragonborn be the one to do it. It'll make for a better song.
Song or not, I just want it done.
If you decide to oblige his request, then Ulfric very much will have died defending Windhelm from a dragon, considering you're the Dragonborn and everything. It's a rather strange poetic irony, one that hopefully Ulfric gets a chuckle out of. But with that, we are going to wrap up. 5 more Civil War facts you may have missed in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Which of the ones featured on this list did you find to be the most interesting or your personal favorites? What facts do you know about Skyrim Civil War and really any other side quest line that I've yet to cover yet? Leave a comment down below. As always, like ratings are very much appreciated. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.